Hey everyone, welcome back to Across the Pitch, your ultimate stop for all things football. This is episode 3, and let me tell you, we've got some absolute bangers to talk about today. From Fiorentina's 7-goal thriller to Chelsea braving the Arctic to bag another win, it's all here, and it's all fire. Now, before we dive in, you know the drill. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe if you haven't already, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Which match blew your mind this week? Who's your player of the tournament so far? Let's get the banter going down below. All right, boots on, kits ready. Let's get across the pitch. Wow, what a match last night. Roma absolutely dominated Braga with a stunning 3-0 victory at the Stadio Olimpico. And listen, it wasn't just the scoreline, it was the way they played. Claudio Ranieri's squad came out swinging with a 3-4-2-1 setup, and let me tell you, that front trio of Mattia Sule, Lorenzo Pellegrini, and Paulo Dybala? Chef's kiss. The first goal? Oh, it was a thing of beauty. Pellegrini slots it home in the 10th minute after a slick build-up from Mendica and Zalewski. That right-footed finish was so precise, it might as well have been laser-guided. And he almost had a second, a header that clanged off the crossbar. The guy was on fire. Now the second half, Roma didn't take their foot off the gas. Just 2 minutes in, Saud Abdulhamid, remember the name, nets his first goal for the club. A charging run, a perfect ball from Manu Kone, and boom, 2-0. That's the kind of confidence Roma's been missing lately. And then, oh boy, Braga's night goes from bad to worse. 74th minute, their keeper Mateus gets sent off for a blatant handball outside the box. Seriously, what was he thinking? Down to 10 men, and at that point, you just knew Roma was going to wrap it up. Cue stoppage time. And who pops up? Mario Hermoso. The substitute comes in, pounces on a rebound, and buries it. 3-0, game over. His first goal for Roma too, so a special moment for him. Stats-wise, Roma were all over Braga. 61% possession, 14 shots, 5 on target. Meanwhile, Braga just couldn't catch a break. 11 shots, only 4 on target, and not one could beat Roma's defense. Pellegrini said it best after the match. He called it a beautiful evening, and you could feel the relief in his words. After a tough stretch, this win was exactly what they needed. Ranieri has clearly got this team believing again. On the other side, Braga's boss Carlos Carvalhal admitted Roma deserved it. They just didn't have an answer to that early goal or the relentless pressure. This win is massive for Roma, not just for their Europa League campaign, but for their confidence too. If they can keep this momentum, watch out, because this team has the tools to go far in Europe and make waves domestically. And that's the story, folks. A dominant Roma performance, 3 points in the bag, and a lot of happy fans in Rome. Let's see if they can keep it rolling. All right, folks, let's talk about that crazy match between Victoria Plzen and Manchester United. United pulled off a gritty 2-1 win, but wow, it wasn't without drama. First half? Honestly, not much to write home about. Both teams set up in a 3-4-2-1, and it was as cagey as it gets. United's defense had some nervy moments. Andre Onana, man, what is going on? He was flapping at crosses and even collided with Casemiro at one point. You could feel the tension. But then, boom. Plzen strikes first in the second half. 48th minute, Onana tries to play it out from the back, and it all goes wrong. His pass to Matthijs de Ligt gets picked off by Pavel Schultz, and next thing you know, Mate Vidra's putting it in the back of the net. 1-0, Plzen. And you're thinking, is this another one of those nights for United? Enter Rasmus Højlund. Ruben Amorim makes the call. Brings him on for Marcus Rashford in the 56th minute, and it's like flipping a switch. 6 minutes later, Højlund's in the right place at the right time, tapping in a rebound after Amad Diallo's shot gets deflected. 1-1, and suddenly United's alive. And let me tell you, Højlund wasn't done. 88th minute, Bruno Fernandes takes a sneaky quick free kick into the box, and Højlund controls it like a seasoned pro. Left-footed shot, bottom corner, 2-1 United. Just pure class from the 21-year-old. And get this, that goal makes him the youngest player in United's history to hit 10 European goals. Forget Rashford, forget Rooney. Højlund is the guy. Now, don't get me wrong, this wasn't a perfect performance. Onana's mistake for Plzen's goal? That's got to be sorted. But credit to Amorim for making the right changes at the right time. Guys like Mason Mount and Antony came off the bench and brought fresh energy when United needed it most. This win puts United in a great spot in the Europa League. They're unbeaten in the group stage, and this result takes them to 12 points from 6 matches. Confidence is building, and with the Manchester derby coming up, that's exactly what they need. So there you have it, a 2-1 win, a Højlund masterclass, and a reminder that when United dig deep, they can grind out results. Let's see if they can carry this into the Premier League. Because the way this kid's playing, sky's the limit. All right, let's dive into that electric match between Ajax and Lazio. Lazio walked away with a 3-1 win at the Johan Cruyff Arena. And let me tell you, they looked sharp, like really sharp. The match started with Lazio pressing high and getting their reward early. 12th minute, Boulaye Dia forces a mistake from Kenneth Taylor. Dia pounces, slides the ball to Loum Chauna, and boom, 1-0 to Lazio. Cool, calm, clinical. That's how you start an away game. Now, Ajax didn't just roll over. They came at Lazio hard, with Brian Brobby causing all sorts of problems up front. But let's be honest, their finishing, it just wasn't there. So, halftime rolls around, and it's still 1-0. Second half, Ajax finally gets their moment. 47th minute, a cleared free kick falls to Bertrand Traoré at the edge of the box. He takes one touch, lets it fly with his left, and it's a screamer. Christos Mandas had no chance. 1-1 and the crowd is absolutely roaring. But Lazio, they didn't even blink. 5 minutes later, substitute Mattia Zaccagni makes an instant impact. He flies down the left, whips in a cross, and Fazaio Delabashiru is there to hammer it home. Pasveer gets a hand to it, but goal line tech says, nope, that's in. 2-1 Lazio, just relentless. And then, the icing on the cake. 77th minute, and it's a beauty. Nuno Tavares makes a surging run, finds Chauna, who, by the way, is feeling himself at this point. Chauna backheels it to Pedro. Yes, Pedro, and the guy curls it into the top corner like he's painting a masterpiece. 3-1. Game over. Ajax tried to claw back, and Traoré even hit the bar late on, but Lazio's defense wasn't letting this one slip. They were solid, organized, and absolutely deserved the win. This is Lazio's 14th win in their last 17 matches. Talk about form. Marco Baroni has got this team firing on all cylinders. They're unbeaten in the Europa League, sitting pretty at the top of the group with 16 points. Not bad for a team that's looking to make serious noise in Europe. So, that's the story. Lazio's pressing, creativity, and finishing were on another level. Ajax had moments, but just couldn't match that intensity. Lazio's on a roll, and if they keep this up, they're going to be a problem for anyone in the knockout stages. Watch this space. All right, let's break down that wild match between Olympique Lyonnais and Eintracht Frankfurt. Lyon came out on top in a 3-2 thriller at the Groupama Stadium, and what a game it was. First off, Frankfurt drew first blood. 18th minute, Ansgar Nauf sneaks in after a defensive mix-up and slots it past Lucas Perry. 1-0 to Frankfurt, and you're thinking, here we go. Lyon's in trouble. But then, Ryan Cherki steps up. 27th minute, Tolisso fires a shot from distance, and Cherki gets the faintest of touches to redirect it past Kevin Trapp. 1-1, and the momentum shifts just like that. The second half, it's all Lyon. 50 minutes in, Malik Fofana finishes off a lightning-quick counterattack, with Cherki pulling the strings again. 2-1 Lyon, and you can feel the crowd buzzing. Then, just 4 minutes later, it's Ernest Nuama's turn to shine. He unleashes an absolute rocket after another clever play from, you guessed it, Cherki. 3-1, and Lyon's running the show. Now, credit to Frankfurt. They didn't just fold. Omar Marmoush pulls one back in the 89th minute with a cool finish to make it 3-2. They pile on the pressure in the dying minutes, but Lyon's defense holds strong. Oh, and a bit of drama to cap things off. Frankfurt's coach, Dino Topmüller, gets sent off for dissent late in the game. Not the best look, but honestly, Frankfurt's defensive lapses were the real story here. This win is massive for Lyon. It puts them on the brink of the knockout stages and gives them a huge confidence boost. And let's not forget, they're doing this with so much off-field noise. Financial struggles, DNCG breathing down their necks, and yet they've gone unbeaten in their last 3 matches, scoring 11 goals. Unreal. For Frankfurt, though, tough night. Defensive errors cost them big time, and they've got some serious regrouping to do if they want to keep their Europa League hopes alive. So that's the story. Lyon's attack was dynamic, Cherki was on another level, and they've put themselves in a great spot. Frankfurt, back to the drawing board. But what a game to watch. All right, let's talk about Rangers versus Tottenham. A 1-1 draw that felt like it could have gone either way at Ibrox. Rangers came out swinging, showing intensity from the first whistle. And honestly, Spurs looked shaky. Their defense, already stretched thin by injuries, was barely hanging on in the first half. But here's the thing. Despite Rangers dominating the first 45, they couldn't find the net. And you've got to credit Fraser Forster for that. The guy pulled off some key saves to keep Tottenham in it. Now, second half, boom, Rangers waste no time. 47th minute, James Tavernier, the captain, whips in a beauty of a cross. Hamza Igamoni is there, and he absolutely buries it. 1-0 to Rangers. The crowd goes wild, and you're thinking, this could get ugly for Spurs. But Ange Postecoglou wasn't messing around. He pulls Timo Werner, who, let's be honest, had a stinker, and brings on Dejan Kulusevski. And what a move that turned out to be. Kulusevski comes on and changes the game. 75th minute, he gets on the end of a pass from Brennan Johnson, cuts inside, and fires it low into the bottom corner. 1-1. Just like that. Pure quality. Now, Rangers didn't take that lying down. They pushed hard in the final minutes, and Cyriel Dessers had a golden chance to win it in the 88th. But Forster? Absolute hero. He makes a stunning save to keep it level. The final whistle blows, and it's a point apiece. For Tottenham, it's a lifeline, but Postecoglou wasn't exactly thrilled. He even called out Werner publicly, saying his performance was not acceptable. Ouch, that's got to sting. For Rangers, it's a mixed bag. They showed grit and quality, especially from Tavernier and Igamine, but they'll feel they should have taken all 3 points, especially at home. And losing John Sautar to injury in the first half? That's a tough blow. So, what's the takeaway? Both teams have 11 points and stay in the hunt for the knockout stages, but there's work to be done. Spurs need to find consistency, and Rangers need to finish the chances they're creating. In the end, it was a hard-fought draw with flashes of brilliance, and honestly, both teams will feel like they left something on the table. What a game, though. Let's talk about Real Sociedad versus Dynamo Kiev, a match that wasn't just a win, it was a statement. Sociedad absolutely dominated with a 3-0 victory at the Reale Arena, and honestly, they made it look easy. It all started in the 19th minute. Sociedad wins a penalty. Mikel Oyarzabal steps up, but guess what? He misses. Well, almost. He follows up the rebound and buries it. 1-0 to Sociedad, and you could feel the confidence oozing from that moment on. Then, just 5 minutes later, Geraldo Becker doubles the lead. Takfusa Kubo, oh, this guy was magical all night, threads a perfect pass, and Becker finishes like a pro. 2-0, and Dynamo looked completely shell-shocked. And we're not even done with the first half yet. 33rd minute, Oyarzabal strikes again. This time, it's all him. A little shimmy, a little magic, and it's 3-0. At that point, Dynamo was just trying to survive. Second half, Sociedad shifted gears. They didn't need to push. They managed the game perfectly. Imanol Alguacil made some smart substitutions to rest key players, and the team just coasted to the finish line. Now, let's talk about Sociedad's form for a second. This was their 5th straight win in all competitions. And here's the kicker. They haven't conceded a single goal in that stretch. Their defense is rock solid, and their attack? Lethal. Oyarzabal, Kubo, Becker. Pick your poison. On the flip side, Dynamo Kiev continues to struggle. They're winless in the Europa League and dealing with so much off the pitch given the situation in Ukraine. You have to feel for them. But tonight, Sociedad was just on another level. So, what's the takeaway? Real Sociedad is flying high. They're 1 point away from locking up a top 8 finish in their group. And with the way they're playing, you'd be brave to bet against them, making a deep run in this competition. Dynamo? They've got to regroup fast because time is running out. 3-0 Sociedad, pure class, pure dominance, and a team that's peaking at just the right time. Watch out, Europe. This team means business. All right, let's talk about Chelsea's 3-1 win over Astana in the Conference League. First off, can we just acknowledge how wild it is to play in minus 14 degrees? The Astana keeper was out there wearing a beanie, and honestly, I don't blame him. Chelsea, though, they didn't let the cold slow them down. 18-year-old Mark Guiu stole the show. This kid was ice cold, no pun intended. He bags 2 goals in the first half. The first was a brilliant solo effort, dribbling past defenders like they weren't even there. The second? Classic poacher's finish after a perfect ball from Pedro Neto. 2-0, and Guiu's looking like a star in the making. Then came Renato Vega with a towering header off a Kiernan Dewsbury Hall corner. 3-0, and at that point, it felt like Chelsea was cruising. But credit to Astana's captain, Marin Tomasov. Right before halftime, he lets one rip from outside the box, a screamer into the top corner. 3-1, and that was about as much as Astana could muster. The second half, all about game management. Chelsea kept their cool, rotated the squad, and even gave some academy players their debuts. Ado Ampa, Shumer Amuka, and Keanu Dyer, names to keep an eye on. Now, let's talk about this Chelsea side. 5 wins out of 5 in the group stage, 21 goals scored, only 4 conceded. Enzo Maresca's got this team humming. And to do all this with such a young lineup in freezing conditions, thousands of miles from home, that's impressive. For Astana, it's a tough night, but honestly, they were up against a Chelsea team that's just flying right now. And let's be real, nobody's expecting miracles against this kind of form. So the takeaway? Chelsea's not just winning, they're dominating. The mix of young talent, experienced players like Pedro Neto, and Maresca's tactics makes them serious contenders for this Conference League title. Watch out, because this team's got something special brewing. 3-1 in the cold, and Chelsea marches on. What a performance! Let's dive into Real Betis' 1-0 win over FC Petrocub Hinchesti in the Conference League. And let me tell you, it wasn't the most convincing performance from the Andalusian side. First half, Betis had all the possession, but absolutely no cutting edge. It was one of those games where you're screaming at the screen, "Somebody make a run!" Petrocub, to their credit, were compact and disciplined. They weren't giving Betis an inch in the final third. Second half, though, Manuel Pellegrini made some much-needed changes. Sergi Altamira and Abde Ezalzouli came on, and things started to click. 54th minute, a mistake from Petrocub's defense, and boom, Cedric Bakambu pounces. Slots it past the keeper, and Betis is finally on the board. 1-0. But here's the thing. Betis couldn't put the game to bed. They had chances to extend the lead, but just couldn't finish. And Petrocub. They didn't roll over. They had a goal disallowed for offside. Correct call, but it was close. Then, in the dying minutes, they had a golden chance to equalize and somehow missed. Betis fans were definitely holding their breath there. So they got the win, but let's be honest, it wasn't pretty. Injuries to key players like Isco and Lo Celso clearly impacted their rhythm. And while Bakambu's goal was clutch, the overall performance raised some big questions about this team's depth and creativity. Pellegrini's got some work to do. They've got a couple of months before the next European round, and he's going to need that time to sort things out. Because if they play like this against stronger teams, it's going to be a tough road ahead. 1-0 against Petrocub, and Betis scrapes through. They'll take the points, but man, this team has to find another gear if they want to make a serious run in the Conference League. Let's see what Pellegrini can pull out of the bag. All right, let's talk about Fiorentina's absolute demolition of LASK, a 7-0 masterclass at the Stadio Artemio Franchi. 7 goals, 0 mercy. The Viola were on fire from start to finish. The action started early. 11th minute, Ricardo Sotil gets things rolling with a clinical finish after a pinpoint pass from Fabiano Parisi. 1-0, and you could just feel the floodgates about to open. And open they did. Sottle turns provider next, setting up Nanitamo Ikone for the second goal. Smooth play, calm finish, 2-0. Then, before Lask could even catch their breath, Sotil is at it again, assisting Amir Richardson to make it 3-0 before halftime. Talk about a dominant first 45. Second half, Fiorentina didn't let up. 60th minute, Sotil pounces on a loose ball in the box and bags his second of the night. 4-0, and at this point, it's a rout. But they weren't done. Rolando Mandragora adds a fifth thanks to a clever setup by Albert Gudmundsson. Then an unfortunate own goal by Filip Stojkovic pushes it to 6-0. And just to top things off, Gudmundsson steps up in the 84th minute to convert a penalty. 7-0. Absolute annihilation. Fiorentina were relentless. Ricardo Sotil, man of the match, no question. 2 goals, 2 assists, and he was everywhere. The whole team looked sharp, creative, and ruthless in front of goal. For Lask, it was a nightmare. They just couldn't cope with the pace, the passing, or the finishing. They're stuck at the bottom of the group now, and honestly, their campaign looks pretty bleak. This win pushes Fiorentina to second place in the group, right behind Chelsea. They're unbeaten in the competition, and with performances like this, they're looking like serious contenders for the Conference League title. 7-0, a dominant statement, and Fiorentina showing the world that they mean business. What a game. And that's a wrap for episode 3 of Across the Pitch. What a lineup of matches we had this week. Goals, drama, and some serious talking points. Now, it's your turn. Jump into the comments and let us know your take. Which team impressed you the most? Who needs to step it up? We want to hear it all. And hey, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell so you never miss an upload. Share this with your football-loving friends. Let's grow the squad. Thanks for kicking it with us. Until next time, keep your head in the game and your eyes across the pitch. Catch you soon.